All right, what kind of questions did you have for me from page 35, 36? What can I help you with? Phones away, please. 35, 36. What kind of questions you have? Number 8. All right. Mike, did you have the homework? Okay. So I got 6b plus 8 quantity squared. So that because I have this to the second power, that means I have this twice. Do you feel comfortable with what I've done so far? Oh, that makes a difference. And I guess you don't feel comfortable with what I've done so far. Does that make sense? Good deal. Sorry about that. All right, so then from there, and again, if you need to use the lines to make your stuff, that's totally fine. I'm not going to mark you wrong because you're showing you're doing double distributing. So you have that. These are the common terms, so we can just add them together. So 48 plus 48, I think, is 96. So that whole thing's my answer. Cool. What else? Anything else from the homework you want to take a look at that I missed upon? Yeah. 18? Yeah. So we have 4b plus 2 and 4b minus 2. So again, this is one of the pattern ones, but if you don't see the pattern, you're okay. It's still going to work out the same way. So that's going to give me 16b squared minus 8b plus 8b minus 4. These are like terms, so they cancel each other out. So you just wind up with 16b squared minus 4. Anything else? Yeah. Is that 11? You got it. 11, 3x minus 8 quantity squared. Because I have this raised to the second power, this means I have this twice. That okay so far? I'm going to multiply them together. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. 3x times negative 8 is negative 24x minus 24x plus 64. These are like terms, so we can go ahead and add them together. Notice they don't cancel out in this case. There it is. Giddy up. Anything else? Feel all right? Life's good? All right. So this week I am going to teach the next lesson, and then can't see it because wait. Yeehaw, saddle up and ride, partner. Check mark for a good kid. So this week, let's see, I have a new lesson today, but tomorrow we will have a quiz up to everything we've done with the factoring. So it's the PEF. So the quiz tomorrow will be PEF 1 through 6. Okay? It's a front and a back quiz, not terribly hard. So it's just some things. That's what we have this week. I think I had that right on my board. Yep, cool. All right. So, since no one's here, I'm going to take this desk. I'm going to bring it up front. Am I sitting in your line of sight? You can see? You let me know if I get in the way? Throw your bottle at me or phone. Deal? Oh, man. Got in the way. All right. I think this is the right one. PEF number 7. PEF number 7. Cool. All right. So this is factoring out polynomials and their equations. Okay. I think we have that first one. Okay. So friends, I'm going to show you the broken down version, which makes it easier to see. And then the question that people have is, do I have to show all of that? The answer is no, if you see it a different way and your answer is correct. So let's break up 2x. Can I break 2 down to anything further, or is 2 just 2? Well, 1 times 1 is 1. So 1 times 2 is 2, but let's not worry about 1 because everything's going to have 1. So 2 is just by itself, and then x is by itself. So 2 times x is 2x. Let's break 8 down. 8 is the same thing as 2 times 4. Agree? All right, so these 2's I have in common. So my answer, I'm going to undistribute it, is going to become 2 quantity x plus 4. Okay, so give me a solid look. Make sure you feel comfortable with what I just did. So I looked to see what I had in common and did the same thing. So if we look at number 2, I can't really break 3 down much further. I mean, I have 1 times 3, but that's not going to really help us. So I have 3 times x. Now, there's a couple of ways I can get to 12. Agreed? 1 times 12 is 12. Good. 2 times 6 is 12. I agree. But is 3 times something also 12? Yeah, 3 times 4, right? So, and the reason I'm going to choose the 3 is I had a 3 right here. So I wanted to see if I could get those terms to be the same. So being that they're the same, I'm going to undistribute these. I'm going to take the 3 out front because that's what I had in common. What do I have left behind? I have x minus 4. Done. If I redistributed that over the parentheses, it would work as well. So, what we had been working on prior to this was, putting it together. Now we're taking it apart. Okay, friends, how do you feel about 1 and 2? You feel like it seems like an okay gig? And there's different ways I've seen people done with this where they break it down to all of its prime components. Sometimes that's a good way to do it. It's not always. It might take us a lot longer. All right. X squared can break down to x times x. Do you feel comfortable with that? And then I get plus 5 times x. What do these two terms have in common with each other? They both have an x, right? So if I undo it, I take that x out, what do I have left behind? X plus 5. And if I redistributed that over the parentheses, I'd go back to the original. So we're just undoing these. What's that?
Wouldn't it be 2 x's though? There's 3 of them.
Well, think about it. If I redistribute, x times x is x squared. X times 5 is 5x. So you were adding them.
Need to put the 2.
Nope. This satisfies x squared. Okay. Number 4, I have 3 times x times y. I'm not going to break that down much. And then plus 2 times y. What do those two terms have in common? What's in common between those two? A y. So if I undo, take a y out, what do I have left here? If I take a y out? 3x, plus sign comes along. What do I have left here? 2. Done. Done, done, done. Does it seem okay? So friends, you have to trust me. I can get you through this. make sure you're staying caught up on it, but it can get a little goofy, okay? All right, so number 5 is our next one. So we have 4x squared minus 2x. Okay, let's break 4 down to 2 times 2, and let's break x squared down to x times x. Is that okay? And then I have the minus, and break down 2x, well, it just breaks down to 2 times x. So if I'm looking at my two terms, what do I have in common between them? 2. So everyone agree I have a 2? Is there anything else I have common between those? X. Which x? Well, one on the first one. Okay? So if I factor a 2x out, what do I have left behind on this side? How many is here? 2. What else? 2x. Minus sign comes along. If I factored everything out, what has to be a placeholder? Not 0, because 2x times 0 is 0. 1. Okay, so now let's double check this. This is the answer. Let's make sure. 2x times 2x, is that 2x to the second? Or 4x to the second? The answer is yes. 2x times negative 1, is that negative 2x? It's factored. Oh boy. Number 6. Let's see. Let's break this down. 1, 2, 3. Is 2x to the third the same thing as 2 times x times x times x? This week it is. Minus, let's break 4 down. 2 times 2. X squared breaks down to x times x. 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x squared. That works. Minus 8. 8 is 2 times 4. Can I break 4 down to 2 times 2? Is 2 times 2 4 times 2 is 8? That works.
So you're supposed to use the smallest number?
Yeah, I'm breaking it. So when I have like a lot of stuff, I'm kind of breaking it all the way down into its prime components. Remember, a prime number can't be broken down any further.
So it's the smallest one.
Yeah.
So like 4 times.
Yep. All right. The purple, green, and red, do they have a single 2 in common? Do they each have a 2? Do they share more than just the 2 as far as numbers go? No, not on numbers. Okay, how many x's do they all share? Just one. I have an x, and an x. On the very last one, I can't factor out multiple x's because I don't have them. So what did I have in common between these 3 sets of terms? 2x. If I factor 2x out of this, how many x's do I have left? So x times x is x squared. Minus sign comes along. What do I have in common? Or if I factor a 2x out of here, what do I have left? 2x minus. If I factor a 2x out of this, what do I have left? 4. Good job, because 2 times 2 is 4. That's my answer. Yay or nay? Cool. All right, number 7, we only have 2 terms. Remember, a term is separated by an addition or subtraction sign. All right. So x squared is x times x. Do you agree? Y squared is y times y. Agree? Plus sign comes along for the ride. Let's break 6 up. 6 is what times what? 3. Good. And then I have an x. And then I have y to the second. How do I break y to the second up? Y times y. Cool. All right. What number-wise, what do I have in common between the two? Number-wise, 3. Got a 3 and a 3. Agree? Do they have more than a single x they both share? I have an x and an x. What about my y's? Can I factor both of them out? Is there 2 on both of them? All right. 3 times x times y is 3xy squared. What do I have left here if I factor a 3x squared y? What's the only thing not highlighted? X. Plus sign comes along. What about the last part? A 2. Good. It's done. You're undoing them. Well, yeah. I wrote it all out, but you'll get to a point where maybe you don't have to write it all out. I mean, if you have to write it all out and you get the right answer, great. If you sit there and do it in my head and you get it wrong, well, write it out if you get it wrong. All right. 8 and 9 are the last 2. Okay, we ready? All right. So this is kind of goofy. I have 2 terms. I have both these terms. Now, what does it appear that they both have in common? X minus 2. Good job. They both have an x minus 2 in common. So that means I can factor out an x minus 2. Agree? Notice I have this x and I have 5 here. If you have stuff with parentheses, normally you're going to finish it up. So on the very first thing, I have x left, I have a plus sign, and I have a 5. It's done. Okay, look at, I mean, that's done. There's nothing further I have to go with that one. Okay. Huh. What about number 9? What does it appear you have in common? X plus 3. Good job. I have that on both. So I'm going to pull that out front, in parentheses, x plus 3. And then what do I have in the other set of parentheses? What's left behind? Yeah, that's it. Done. That's it. Now, I'm going to put a little disclaimer. Tonight, this one's fine. This one actually factors down a little bit further, but we're not going to worry about it tonight, okay? So, questions for me on this information? Yeah. No, this is just extra. This will be a future quiz, but definitely not tomorrow's. Okay? So let's make sure we feel comfortable with information that'll be on the quiz for tomorrow. So in our books, I'm going to flip back to the very beginning. I'm on page 15. Okay? So so there are terms that we list things as. We have constant, and that's just a number. We have linear, highest exponent is 1. So an example might be like this, x or x to the first, something like that. So you look for your highest exponent. Then you have quadratic. Quadratic, your highest exponent is 2. So you'd have something like this, x squared, or you'd have, x squared plus 3, something like that. So you're looking for a highest exponent. Highest exponent, 3 and 2 is quadratic. Then you have cubic. Highest exponent, 3. So that would be like x to the third, or it could be, like 7x to the third plus lots of stuff. And then you don't have to know this one, but we'll just list it. You have quartic. highest exponent 4. So that would be like x to the 4th, etc. Okay, so on the first couple of problems, it's going to say, hey, listed as constant, linear, quadratic, or cubic. We're not going to put quartic on there. So you're just looking, hey, do I just have a number? If I just have a number, constant. Do I have, is it linear? Is it just x? Is my highest, I have like 5x plus 2 or just negative 7x, something like that. Then it's linear, quadratic. And then the other part that we did was we said, is it a monomial? So that's one term. So a monomial could be any of these. It could be like 7, or it could be 2x to the 5th, or it could be negative 12x to the 3rd. Those are all monomials. There's only one term. And then you had binomial, and this is 2 terms. So this could be like x plus 4, or you could have x to the 3rd minus 7x, or you could have 12x to the 5th minus 3. Those are binomials. There's 2 terms. You have a single addition or subtraction sign separating the terms. And then you have trinomials, which is 3 terms. So it could be something like this, x squared plus 3x minus 7, or it could be negative 4x to the 3rd plus 7x plus 2. There's 3 parts to it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's how you do that. And then polynomial, you have 4 or more terms. So this is longer. Okay, a lot longer. No, you have to know it. You have to know it. So, I mean, it's not difficult to do. I mean, you know the difference between a bicycle and a tricycle, right? Bicycle has 2 wheels, tricycle has 3 wheels. So that means you only really have to know monomial, and if it's not one term and it's monoed by 2 terms or not 3 terms, it's got to be polynomial. Constant, linear, quadratic, cubic. If you cube something, it means you multiply things 3 times. Linear means it was just like we could have graphed it on anything. So, no, I will not have that listed. Okay? So that's the first part of our kind of review. This recording will be up, so if you wanted to watch that. Other things that we need to know how to do. Let's say I have x plus 6, 2x minus 7. Let's say I have x plus 6 minus 2x minus 7. Very similar looking problems, agreed? But mathematically they're different. This one is going to be multiplication, double distribute. So x times 2x is 2x squared. X times negative 7 is negative 7x. 6 times 2x is 12x. 6 times negative 7 is negative 42. Those are like terms. Combine them together. That's how you do this one. How do I do the second problem? Yeah, we're going to start combining like terms. So I have a 1 out front here. So if I distributed 1 over, I'm going to get x plus 6. Here I'm going to have a distribute a negative over. So I get that. These are like terms. These are like terms. So same 2 binomials, different answers because different mathematical operations. Okay? Does that make sense? Again, this is recorded. All right. How would I do this type of problem? What should I do on this problem? Distribute. Good. So 3 times 1 is 3. X to the second times x to the third. What do we do with the exponents when we're multiplying bases? Combine them, so we add them, right? So I get 3x to the fifth. Then I have this. Remember, that's to the first. So that's going to give me plus 15x to the third, because 2 plus 1 is 3. Minus 3 times 6 is 18x squared. Okay? And if you can do that, now, friends, I know some of you are like a little freaked out, like he wants us to actually know something. Yeah, it's called school. But how are you going to remember those? I'd say put them on note cards, flip through them till you have them down. I mean, there's not a lot to remember. I actually put the words down for you, so it's not like you have to sit there and going, oh gosh, it's raised to the second power, starts with a cube, but I don't remember what it is. No, you look up above and it's like, oh, it's quadratic. So don't stress these too much, because this part is not worth a major amount of points. Okay? I bet you can get part of it if you can't get both parts, because it might say, hey, it's a linear binomial. Meaning linear, x is the highest exponent, binomial, 2 terms. Or it might be like, oh, it's a cubic polynomial. Cubic because it's raised to the third power, polynomial because there's like 4 terms. So it's not a real hard thing to have, but I know some of you will sit there and say, I'll look at this and I won't think about it again until tomorrow. And then you're like, well, why is my grade bad? Because you're not doing school appropriately. There's a lot of things. Oh, yeah, but COVID. Okay, what about the other 13 years you were in school? Oh, God is there. Yeah, I did. Okay, some of you are choosing to be lazy about stuff. Okay, I get it. COVID's out there. I had COVID. It sucks. I had COVID after I was vaccinated with my second vaccine. It sucks. But if you're out, you have to stay up to date on my stuff. If you're not, don't worry. This class is offered every year. You'll repeat it. No, I'm not going to repeat it. You fail this class, you repeat it. It's not, don't fall into the trap of, I couldn't watch a video. I get it if you had bad stuff, and I'm just talking to the whole, I'm not talking to an individual. I have a lot of students that will send me 12 emails throughout the day, and I'll say, hey, watch the video. And then they'll come back saying, I couldn't watch the video. I said, but you sent me 12 emails. Quit making the excuses of you can't. Okay? Honestly, you can. Okay? And I mean, you're at Cherry Creek High School. This is the top performing school in the district. I can't imagine what's going on in other schools. But some of you are saying, oh, I get sick and tired of hearing my teacher last year didn't do a really good job. Really? Maybe it was you. Okay? Yes, I understand there's crappy teachers. I've had them. I try not to be that one. Okay? I try to be the one. I try to learn by the way I teach is the way I wanted to learn. Unfortunately, I didn't always learn that way, and I had to dig down deep and find myself and figure out how I'm going to do it. So this assignment I'm going to give you will not be due tomorrow. Does that make sense? Follow me on this adventure? All right, let's find a page. No. Blessing you. All right, so this is due Wednesday. Okay, and it's going to be page 39 and 40. And it's problems 1 through 22. Do all of them. And that'll be due Wednesday. We do have a quiz tomorrow from PEF 1 through PEF 6. And I reviewed for you, so utilize the video